Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching.
Good evening, Notre Dame class of 2028, and welcome home. My name is Micki Kidder, and I am privileged to serve as Notre Dame's Vice President for Enrollment. Tonight, I am most excited to welcome you, the newest members of our joyful, talented, strong, and other-centered global Notre Dame family. To the students joining us this evening, congratulations. You have pursued your dreams, challenged yourselves, dedicated time to benefit those around you, and inspired others to seek greatness. To the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, mentors, and friends, thank you for the love, respect, and support you consistently show these impressive young people. Notre Dame is deeply grateful for you. Students, we recognize that you have an important decision ahead. Where will you call home for the next 4 years and beyond? While this may seem like a daunting decision, I encourage you to approach it with an open heart and mind, energetic and bold dreams, and a ton of fun. You have earned this. Enjoy every moment and know that we are honored to walk this journey with you. Tonight, I have the privilege of introducing you to Notre Dame and all that she has to offer. Like most universities, we are honored to celebrate a mission that is focused on extraordinary scholarship and research. But as the leading Catholic research university, there is a defining component to our mission that guides all that we do, our Catholic character. This and a commitment to forming the full human person ensure that we can offer you an unsurpassed undergraduate experience. We invest in your hearts and minds to help you utilize your God-given talents and achieve greatness. But greatness not simply for yourselves, rather to serve a world deeply in need. This commitment investing in the formation of the full human person extends beyond the scholarly exploration that will occur in the classroom, research labs, field, or global experiences. At Notre Dame, our students expect and receive a deeper, broader, and richer education. At Notre Dame, science and its applications cannot be separated from moral issues. There is a spirit, an ethos, and a sacred nature to Notre Dame, and I can't wait for you to experience it. Class of 2028, you have inspired us. Your applications were not simply academically impressive, but you exhibited attributes such as kindness, joy, and resilience, attributes that reflect authentic and inspiring servant leadership. This was exhibited in your fellow classmate, who, when asked what brings him joy, shared, "My 1-year-old niece brings me joy. She reminds me to smile, so life smiles back." Time with her proves that there are still innocent souls in this boldly guilty world. Another inspiring member of your class expressed that she thrives when surrounded by people of compassion, creativity, leadership, and integrity. That, my friends, is Notre Dame. And finally, a member of the Notre Dame class of 2028 who made the most beautiful analogy between the yumminess of a walking taco and celebrating relationships and collaboration. Seriously, it was impressive. She hopes to study both business and chemistry in order to understand the pharmaceutical market and benefit society through her career. This other-centeredness, curiosity, and interest in multidisciplinary learning to be a force for good, this is Notre Dame. All of you, future members of the class of 2028, you are Notre Dame. The greatest 4 years of your life are ahead of you, and we can't wait for you to call Notre Dame home. We are excited to see how you will grow and immensely enrich our campus community. We invite you to join our family, a global family committed to intellectual learning and discovery and formation of the full human person. It's a privilege to be on this journey with you. God bless all of you, and go Irish. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to our MC for the evening, my dear colleague and friend, Notre Dame's Assistant Vice President for Admissions, Ms. Deb Johns.
Thank you so much, Micki, for these wonderful words of welcome. Micki has shared, my name is Deb Johns, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Assistant Vice President for Undergraduate Admissions. I, too, would like to offer congratulations once again on your admission to the University of Notre Dame. Thank you so much for sharing those videos of your admission. They were fantastic. after having reviewed all of your files and signing your decision letters, it brings me such joy to see your reactions. On behalf of our entire team, we're delighted to have you join us this evening and hope that this session will broaden your understanding of Notre Dame, what makes an undergraduate education here distinctive, and how the many resources available here will provide you endless opportunities to explore, to grow, and to be pushed beyond your wildest dreams. Tonight, Micki and I are joined by Shamar Cousin, woohoo, a recent Notre Dame alum and one of my colleagues in the admission office, as well as one of our incredible current students, Alfredo Huete. Shamar, so would you share a little bit about yourself with our audience, and then would you do the same, Alfredo, afterwards?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Deb. As Deb mentioned, my name is Shamar Cousin, and I am an assistant director here in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I'm also a relatively recent alum of class of 2021, oh so long ago. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I've called Notre Dame my home for the past 7 years or so. And I was in, during my time at Notre Dame, Fisher Hall, which is, of course, the best dorm that we have on this campus.
Hi, my name is Alfredo Huete. I'm a sophomore from Miami, Florida. On campus, I live in Duncan Hall, and I'm majoring in both accounting and economics, so that's a double major. Outside of the classroom, I'm both an admissions intern, so I work with these guys right here. And in addition to that, I'm on the school's Ultimate Frisbee team, the school's data club, as well as the sports analytics club.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your introductions. Our hope for this evening is that each of you will be able to be asked some questions and answer some questions, as many of them as we can get to. A lot of you have already submitted questions. We also have 2 current undergraduate students who are joining the chat, and they'll be answering questions for us as well. I want to thank Ganat and Ashton for doing that for us. So now the questions. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Yes,
All right.
We're ready.
So the first one is to all of you, and I think it's a great first step, and this was offered to us by our audience. Can you tell us your favorite Notre Dame tradition?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, great, thank you.
So I'd have to say my favorite Notre Dame tradition, I mean, there's a lot to choose from, but I'd have to say my personal favorite is parking lot tailgates. So on football game days, be it Saturday, in the morning, afternoon, at night, the parking lot behind the stadium just turns into like a sea of tents. And it's just so much energy, so much passion. It's awesome to see. It's kind of like the entire Notre Dame community, be it like current students, former students, and even future students there too, as well. It's just awesome to see like the whole energy and the whole Notre Dame fever all in one concentrated area.
That's awesome, thank you. How about you, Shamar?
Yeah, that is an excellent choice, and I agree. There are very many traditions to choose here from. Hard to say what my favorite is, but I'll have to go with, I guess, after the first large snowfall of the year, there is a campus-wide North Quad versus South Quad snowball fight. And it's supposed to be North Quad versus South Quad, but really it just turns into you running around, finding your friends, and throwing snowballs at them. And I think it's just really a great time because you have some people from Philadelphia, like myself, who are pretty used to the snow, but you have some from Miami or California or Colombia or wherever, somewhere across the world, who maybe have never seen snow before a day in their lives. So it's just time to go out, celebrate with friends, and throw some snow.
That sounds like a whole lot of fun. And how about you, Micki?
I'm wondering if maybe we should institute a faculty staff snowball fight. What do you think, Shamar?
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
we'll
do
do
it.
it. We'll start a new tradition. My favorite Notre Dame tradition is all around our alma mater. Not the victory march and the fight song, which is the best in the land, but our alma mater, because in so many of my cherished memories, I'm standing arm in arm with my family, my loved ones, my friends, colleagues, and students singing the alma mater. And its applicability is truly universal. So tonight at Purcell Pavilion, when our Notre Dame's men's basketball team hopefully gets a victory, everyone there will be arm in arm singing the alma mater. And Sunday morning after Mass in the Basilica, that same family will be linked arm in arm singing the same song. And I love how it unifies this family in a beautiful way.
I love it. Now, I've now seen multiple athletic events and personal events where they end with the alma mater and they swing back and forth. It's the best.
The best.
Yes, thank you. So this next question is for you two, and it's about how one gets selected to one of these amazing residential halls. And is it done randomly, or do you fill out a survey where you talk about I'm an early riser or I sleep, you know, I'm a night owl, you know, like how best to answer that question? Let's start with you, Shamar, but would you also chime in, Alfredo, to talk about just sort of how your experience has played out as a student?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start us off here. So roommate assignments here at Notre Dame, I think it is pretty unique in that you are completely randomly assigned a roommate. There is no survey to say, oh, I like my room neat, or I'm a little messy, or I get up early, or I'm a night owl, or anything like that. No survey, really, it is completely random. I think the only non-random portion of that is that your roommate won't be from the same zip code as you, and they won't be from the same high school as you, so you will be completely randomly assigned into either a double, a triple, or a quad. That basically means that you'll have either one roommate, two roommates, or three roommates during your first year here at Notre Dame.
And how's that played out for you, Alfredo?
So, yeah. So my freshman year, I was assigned a random roommate, of course, and I was kind of nervous about it at first. It's like, you know, someone who you really don't know, and you're just rooming with them now. It went, honestly, like, we couldn't be more different people. He wakes up at like 6 a.m., goes to bed like at 9 p.m. I go to bed like at 11, you know, or so, and wake up a little bit later in the day, and we are best friends now. So it's honestly, it gave me a great opportunity to meet someone and room with someone that I probably wouldn't have roomed with otherwise. So I'm really grateful for kind of like that random roommate assignment. It may be a little uncomfortable at first and on paper, but I think it works out really well in the end, and it allows you to meet people and live with people that you really wouldn't have been with otherwise.
That's great. And another question, Shamar, if you wouldn't mind helping us out, came from our audience about, so is housing guaranteed all 4 years, or how does that play out? Do you live on campus all 4 years?
Yeah, another great question. So here at Notre Dame, housing is guaranteed for all 4 years, so you will never be without a home here at Notre Dame. You can always live on campus. There is a 6-semester on-campus living requirement here, so you do have to live on campus in those dorms for 6 semesters. Study abroad does count, and that counts. So if you do go abroad for a semester or a year, that counts for your on-campus living. Now I know sometimes we mention that there is a on-campus living requirement, and some people might say, oh, I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if I want to live on campus for 3 years. I always love to give this analogy that when I was a student here, way back when, that requirement actually was not in place. You actually couldn't move off campus as early as you wanted to. And me and all of my friends still lived on campus all for 3 years, stayed in Fisher Hall. Once again, the best dorm on campus, so why would we want to leave? But we stayed in Fisher for 3 years. We moved off campus our senior year, not to get away from the on-campus community by any means. We actually moved off, 10 of us, all from Fisher, moved off into a house and basically took the Fisher community, moved off campus so we could be adults and pay rent and utilities and all that fun stuff that, trust me, is not very fun. So definitely can live on campus. At any given time, I believe about 80% of the student body is living on campus as well. So campus life always pretty lively and thriving.
That's great. That's great. 10 young men living together. I love that. I'm just thinking about that right now. So another question, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, and this one is for you, Micki. Someone wanted to know about internships and how one finds internships at the university. And do all the internships happen to be in the Midwest, or do we have more far-reaching opportunities for our students?
Yes, great question. So we have a wonderful, wonderful resource and group of colleagues working in the Morello Family Center for Career Development. And this team is fantastic. They help over 90% of our students actually have some type of summer placement every year. And sometimes this is more service-oriented opportunities or study abroad, but a significant percentage of those 90% of placement are internships throughout a person's career at Notre Dame. They have a ton of materials at the Morello Center in addition to colleagues who help students walk that journey from Handshake to different aggregated industry tools. One of the most powerful tools, though, we feel within the Notre Dame family are people, right? And this community. And as global and as diverse as the student body is here, with all 50 states represented and typically over 75 to 80 countries represented in each student class, the same is true then for the Notre Dame family and its reach in helping place students. So our placement wherever in the world, in the corner thereof, a student has a desire to go, our team will help them find that reality and activate and amplify the Notre Dame family throughout the world.
That's great. That's great. That's such a helpful and thorough answer. That's fantastic. So the audience must have known that we would have someone from Miami, Florida. So this next question is, for students who live far away, how was it adjusting to life here on campus? And Alfredo, do you have any recommendations for students in terms of adjusting and getting acclimated here in the first year, coming from, you know, a place you're not in our backyard?
Yeah, that's honestly a really good question. Coming here from Miami, Florida, obviously it's very, very different. I had never lived anywhere where it was under 60 degrees pretty much at any point in the year, and so like that change is just huge change.
That's not here.
Yeah, true. I'm still there. But yeah, it was also a big cultural shift. But my advice would be that this place has such a great community. Like, as you guys know, with the dorm system, with the club system, your dorm kind of becomes your family in a way. So advice that I would give to incoming students coming from maybe far away is just kind of let Notre Dame be that family for you away from home until it gets to the point where, I mean, I experienced this like my first break back at home. I was thinking, when can I go back home, talking about the place that was 1,000 miles away from my home.
That's awesome.
That is that's a full stop answer. Yeah. I like that answer quite a bit.
Up,
yeah, I really like that. So to follow up, again, we had some questions about transitioning. And another question from our audience is, how does Notre Dame make students feel included and welcomed? What's the best way to get to know people during your first year on campus? Shamar, let's begin with you, but I'd be curious to hear from both of you, and I'm sure they would as well.
Yeah, for sure, and I can definitely kick us off here. So I think, Alfredo, you kind of started us off very well with this idea of how strong the community is here at Notre Dame. And we call ourselves the Notre Dame family, and I'll be the first to admit that sometimes it can be kind of a cheesy line, Notre Dame family, but it really is the truth. This place, everyone here becomes your brothers and your sisters, and it is such a tight-knit community where this place does become your home away from home, or just your home, like it's been my home for the past 7 years or so. I think one way that we make sure that students feel welcomed when they arrive here on campus, going back to that idea of the dorms being that first tight-knit community that you find here, I think a lot of that starts in the dorms. Just to give a personal story of my time in the best dorm on campus in Fisher Hall during welcome weekend and syllabus week during the start of each semester. And throughout the entire year, we have what we call an open door policy in Fisher, and that if you're ever in your dorm room and you're not like too busy doing homework or anything like that, or trying to take a nap, you just leave your door open. And that is so that anyone who's walking down the hallway, if they see a door open, that means they are welcome to walk in, chat with you, learn who you are, play video games, drink some tea, whatever the case may be. I think that's how I met most of my friends during my first year on campus, and those friends are still my best friends to this day, literally by walking down the hall, seeing someone's door open, and introducing myself. So in the dorms, whether that's through open door policies or through like your RAs in the dorms or hall staff and government that really go out of their way to make sure that you are feeling welcomed and included. And I can go on and on and on about like welcome weekend and different activities. There's a lot of like pretty much forced mingling that we make students do when they arrive on campus, just so that, sometimes you have to leave your comfort zone and get out of your shell and go out and meet these people from all 50 states and 75 different countries around the world. So a lot of different ways in those dorms, but I've been talking for a long time, and I will pass it on to Alfredo.
Well, I agree with everything you said, Shamar, except for one thing, because you said Fisher was the best dorm on campus, and I got to say Duncan Hall is the best hall on campus.
Fair.
This
I
debate.
was waiting for that. I was waiting for that banter. I'm like, so again, what is the favorite, what is the best residence hall? Because that usually comes up with everyone, that their specific residence hall is the best on campus. So Micki, again, changing gears, this is a question that many of our audience members had, and they wanted to know about financial aid and scholarships and just sort of the cost of attending and affordability. And I was just wondering if you could spend some time speaking to that a bit.
Sure. So this is one of Notre Dame's most universal and highest priorities, I would offer, is that a Notre Dame education is accessible and affordable to any admitted student. And so financial aid offers will start going out next week, actually, to any student who has completed their FAFSA and CSS profile information. We won't have all of them out next week, but we will begin offering those next week. And so please be mindful, watch your information there, and we will start that next week and then continue to push out more and more each week over the next month or so. It does give me an opportunity, this question, which I'm so glad was asked. The FAFSA this year is delayed. I think we all know that, particularly students who are filing for financial aid. I don't anticipate that we will get the FAFSA information in an accelerated time frame. And so I encourage you, if you haven't completed the CSS profile, please do so. We are a school that utilizes the CSS profile, and it allows us to get you your financial aid information quicker. And again, as I said earlier, this is a deep, deep priority for us to make sure that a Notre Dame education is affordable to any admitted student. If you have questions, please reach out to us, to your admissions counselor or your financial aid officer, and we will have financial aid professionals available at the rally for those of you who are attending that. If you have questions, you can sit down and go through that offer in a very personalized way.
Thank you. That's very, very helpful. So, Alfredo, what do you do for fun when you're not in class? And, what can students do here when they would like to go to things around campus? What kinds of clubs, what kinds of things? You mentioned Ultimate Frisbee and some of the things that you do. I'm just sort of curious how you have been able to balance, has it been easy to balance the social side of going to college and university versus the classroom expectation?
Well, yeah, I definitely think that every student at Notre Dame was definitely very involved in their high school, and so kind of like doing both, I guess, is not really new to a lot of us. And so it definitely goes up a level here at Notre Dame because obviously the classes get a little bit harder. But the way I treat my work-life balance is I have my school, I have my activities, and then like my activities are a way of to get like my break from school, right? And that's because I genuinely enjoy all the people that I spend time with, like for example, on the Frisbee team, sports analytics team, and like even my work. Like I love working with you guys. Like it's a really good time. Yay. And so I think a great way to balance it is to kind of just do what you love outside of the classroom and join clubs that are like, that help enable that, right? We have so many clubs on campus. I believe it's like over 400, 500. And so there's really no dearth of kind of like communities to fill yourself up in and other clubs to join. So in regards to work-life balance, I guess to be like pretty concise is that I enjoy what I do outside the classroom. That helps kind of give me the fuel to do my schoolwork.
That's great. Do you ever get off campus? Do you ever go into South Bend and do things that are associated with the city of South Bend?
Yeah, so every now and then, whether it's for service or just to go out to eat, I will go out into the city of South Bend. But I will say not as much as I expected to coming in here, just because there's so much to do on campus. Like there are activities like pretty much every other day, be it like a trivia night in like Duncan Student Center, or for example, a service activity somewhere on campus, or like some cool talk that I'm pretty interested in going to. And so while there is a lot to do in South Bend, I will say I have to go explore more of it, but I do know a lot of people go, for example, ice skating in Howard Park. There's a really cool bike trail through the city, which I did do. So yeah, South Bend is definitely, it's got a lot of stuff.
That's great, great. So Micki, a follow-up question a bit is, what kinds of academic support is here on campus for students who would like to access it during their time? First year, fourth year?
Sure, yeah, great question. So we have a whole center dedicated to academic advising and support for our students. This includes the first year advising team that every student receives an advisor your first year. There's also tutoring and mentorship available, academic support available in this center. That team is so deeply committed to our students. And as I said, every student in their first year will receive an advisor. And then once they determine their major, they will receive an advisor in their respective college or school. I also want to take this opportunity to highlight, though, the support we give our students well beyond the classroom. And this goes to something I mentioned earlier in terms of the investment in the full human person. And so that support provided our students is beyond the academic perspective of this. It could certainly be through the faculty who are deeply invested in our students, could be in the rectors and the RAs in these amazing residence halls that you have heard about. The McWell Center, the McDonald Center for Student Wellbeing, where students have a plethora of resources available to them to be the happiest and healthiest versions. Our job is to keep the students safe above all things and to make sure they're educated and that they're thriving, not simply surviving on this campus. So I would definitely encourage the students and parents and families on the virtual rally tonight, go out and explore these websites, and it gives you an opportunity to further understand all the resources available.
That's great. That's really great. So these next two questions are going to be directed toward you, Shamar, but please feel free, Alfredo, because it may be something that you're thinking about doing or something that's on the horizon for you as well. So, and this is something that a lot of students have an interest in, research opportunities, but not just research opportunities if I'm a STEM student. Research opportunities throughout all of the disciplines that are offered at the university. What do we have? And then the follow-up question is about having international experiences and study abroad here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, for sure. Firstly, two questions in a row directed towards me. I know I'm a bit chatty usually, yeah, exactly. I'll try my best not to go too long in my answers here. But to start with research here at Notre Dame, I think you bring up a great point in that research is not just for those STEM majors here. You don't have to be wearing goggles in the lab coat or anything like that.
But
to
you
do
could.
research. You definitely can.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly,
can.
exactly.
But it's not just for those students here. Firstly, we have an entire pretty much research hub dedicated to students here who want to get involved with those different opportunities called the Flatley Center for Undergraduate Scholarly Engagement, or CUES for short, because Flatley Center for Undergraduate Scholarly Engagement, really long name, no one likes to say it too often, but at CUES and that research hub, you get one-on-one advising, mentorship. They help you with different research opportunities. They help you to find funding for different research. And just speaking on doing research across all those different disciplines. Like I had friends here that did research on how mites affect the grasshopper populations in the Upper Peninsula. And I had a friend who did research on Harry Potter in London and got funded to do research on Harry Potter in London. So when I say that you can do research on anything, you truly can do research on anything. So one way to go about finding those opportunities is through CUES. But another way that I think is really, really awesome here, and Micki, you mentioned this with us being like an R1 institution, where a lot of our professors here are doing their own research, and they love when students are proactive and they want to get engaged and involved with the research that they are doing. So a lot of times professors at the beginning of a semester will say, hey, I'm doing this thing. If you're interested in this, see me after class, send me an email, and you can get involved that way. Or you could be like me. I didn't mention before, but I was an English major, sociology minor here, so double humanities, was not doing any STEM research. But I did want to do some research during my time at Notre Dame, and I really wanted to do some sociology research, like inner city stuff, a lot of different things like that. And one of my professors here, Dr. Lynette Spillman, who is very awesome, was doing some cool stuff and things that I was interested in. So I sent her an email one day and said, hey, Lynn, I'm really interested in what you're doing. Any chance you're looking for a student to kind of hop along any of your projects? And she said, thanks for reaching out. Unfortunately, I'm not looking for anyone right now, but send me your resume, send me your information, and I'll send it out to the entire sociology department here.
Yeah.
So she did not have to do that clearly. She could have just said, sorry, best of luck. Good luck finding something. But instead she said, send me your info, I'll send it out. And then I had multiple professors reach out to me saying, hey, I got your info from Dr. Spillman. Are you still interested in doing some research? I'm doing this thing. It seems like this would be up your alley. So I was able to do some research by sending an email to a professor, which I think is really, really cool.
That is fantastic. And how about international experiences?
So study abroad, and sorry, I know I was really talkative on that one. I'm going to keep going here. But study abroad, very, very prominent, prevalent here at Notre Dame. About 70% of the student body will study abroad at some point during their time at Notre Dame. We have, I want to say, 50 or so different programs all over the world. I believe the only continent that we're not currently located on is Antarctica. So if you were looking to study abroad in Antarctica, unfortunately, you might have to look elsewhere. But we do have research opportunities.
Maybe they send an email.
In Antarctica.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Send an email out. Maybe we can get something going.
That's right.
But we have semester-long abroad programs. We have summer programs. We have year-long programs. Really, study abroad can be whatever you want it to be. Typically during your junior year, either fall or spring semester. Some people do a semester. Some people do an entire year. Me, I wanted to study abroad. I love this place so much, though, that I didn't want to go for an entire semester. So I did a week-long program in Ireland, where we started in like Western Ireland and Galway, and just road tripped across the country, ended in Dublin, did some service, took a few classes, and that was the perfect amount of time for me because I still wanted that global learning experience, but I didn't want to be away from my home for an entire semester or a summer or anything like that. So really can get involved in a plethora of different ways.
That's great. And Alfredo, as you hear Shamar's experience, what are you thinking about going forward in your junior and senior year?
Yeah, so study abroad, as you guys know, is definitely something that a lot of students look forward to doing. And being a sophomore in my second semester now, everyone's like buzzing, like, oh, are you going abroad? Where are you going? This, that. Everyone's really excited for a week because we just recently found out if we were actually accepted to going abroad or not. And so I just got accepted. I will be going to Spain in the fall.
Wow, congratulations.
So that's very exciting for me, and I know a few friends who are also going with me. So it's definitely something I'm really looking forward to, and just an opportunity that I'm very excited for, because not only will I be able to take classes that actually get credited for Notre Dame, but also I know it's going to be so much fun, and I'm glad to have the experience.
That's great. May I ask where you're going in Spain?
Toledo.
Great. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
And I think for the families on the session, it's important to know that's not additive, like tuition, room and board. That is integrated into your Notre Dame experience for the students who apply and then are accepted into the various programs.
Yeah, that's great. So again, along with academics, 70+ majors here. As a 17 or 18-year-old, there is a good chance, there's a national statistics that 70 or 80% of the students change their mind to major. How easy is it once you get to campus here to change a major?
Yes, very. That would be the shortest answer I could give you. It truly is. I would say many, if not most, students change their major, and some do that multiple times over the course of their career. That approach we have to that, as long as you can, to the discipline that you want to move into, as long as you can complete the curriculum and still complete that in your 8 aggregated semesters of study, we will absolutely help students with this. That's really grounded in 2 primary reasons and philosophies. The first you alluded to, Deb. You're 18 years old. There's a really important thing called discernment around that. And we don't expect an 18-year-old to know what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Right.
Some people do, and that's amazing, and we will set you on a curriculum and a sequencing for enormous success. But we also want to give you the time, the space, the resources to explore and truly discern. And the other reason is we are big fans of curiosity and risk-taking. And so The core curriculum and the advising team will encourage students to take things that they never dreamt they would be studying or even thriving in and want to pursue. And more times than not, that area where they took a little risk and tried something new happens to be the discipline they fall in love with. And so we very much encourage our students to explore and discern and really lean into that intellectual curiosity.
That's great. That's great. So this next question came from a few of our members, and we thought it would be important. Maybe Alfredo, you can help us out with this particular question. What are the cultural clubs here on campus? What service opportunities are present, and where do they take place? And what are some of the most popular extracurricular clubs? So that's a lot to talk about clubs and organizations when there literally are hundreds of them on our campus. Yes. But these types of questions came from many people in our audience.
Yes, so that is a pretty loaded question.
It is. It is indeed.
If I forget one part, I'll just ask you.
It's okay.
But I'll start by listing all 500 clubs on campus.
No, please.
But no, there are definitely so many clubs on campus. If you are looking for a club to join or a community to, like I mentioned earlier, kind of like fall in love with or join, it is extremely easy, right? Really, any interest you have, there is going to be a club on campus just for that. And say you have an interest in doing magic or something and that club doesn't exist on campus, you can start up a magic club. And I bring up that specific example because that literally happened a few years ago. Someone like really wanted to do a magic club and he just went ahead and started a magic club. For me personally, clubs have been a huge part of my experience at Notre Dame, and so I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to do that. I think of clubs, especially the bigger ones, as functioning as kind of like their own sort of dorms. So on the Frisbee team, we have, I believe it's like over 70, over 80 members, and so we have like our own tight-knit community. And to tie in the answer to the service you asked about, each club, just like each dorm on campus, they present their own service opportunities, right? So my dorm specifically, Duncan Hall, best hall on campus. We have service Saturdays where we'll help people out in the South Bend area, be it kids at schools or be it farmers who need us to plant some stuff for them. We'll go and do that on Saturdays, and hence the name Service Saturdays. And there's also service opportunities through clubs, as well as specific clubs dedicated just to service.
That's great. You know, service is something that's really important to the community, and I know to our audience. How about you, Shamar? Have you mentioned doing some service once you were in Dublin. So talk a little bit, have you done some of that as an undergraduate student? Yes. And actually as a colleague, because we did service this past weekend.
Yes, so. Yes, for sure. So definitely was engaged in service during my time as an undergraduate and still am engaged in service now. As Alfredo mentioned, a lot of dorms will have their own organization that they specifically will serve to. In Fisher Hall, we did a lot of work with St. Adalbert's School, which is a local, basically underrepresented school here in the South Bend area. And we would go there, we would tutor in math, science, and different things. So I did tutor a bit in some 5th, 4th grade math. I mentioned I was an English major before. Math isn't my cup of tea necessarily, but I still know the basics, so I was still able to help out in that sense. Also did a lot of service at the South Bend Center for the Homeless, where I currently serve a lot now currently as well. There are just a lot of different opportunities for students to get involved, to serve on campus, in the South Bend area, even some opportunities in Chicago. I recently went to a luncheon for the South Bend Center for the Homeless, where we had some folks based out of Chicago come through and say, hey, we're looking for people to help us out too, or anyone interested in doing that. So not just the South Bend area, but really expanding your horizons, going far and wide, going abroad like myself and doing service internationally as well. There's a lot of different opportunities across the board.
That's great. That's great. And Micki, I'm just going to ask you the same question, but yes. So this ACE program, yes. Tell me a little bit about how students or alumni, young alumni, get involved with that. And then I've got a follow-up question after that.
Sure. So ACE is our Alliance for Catholic Education, a wonderful program founded right here at the University of Notre Dame, which is the opportunity for us, really, we feel, to educate the next generation of Catholic educators. And so it's an opportunity for students to get a graduate degree and also to then contribute their time, talent, and resources into Catholic schools and underprivileged schools across the country. Fantastic program. for graduate students.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Now, our audience also very interested. How does Notre Dame help them after Notre Dame? How does that center that you mentioned, the Career
Yes.
Center, really assist in helping them get jobs, etc.?
So I am going to come back to Morello Center for Career Development, but I'm actually going to use this question to quote a very dear colleague of mine and friend, our Executive Vice President, Shannon Cullinan. In this year's annual report, I think he summed up the preparation for Notre Dame students to go out into the world in one sentence, where he said, we're investing in our students to be thinkers and doers. And I just loved that, because through a Notre Dame education, yes, we are going to quantitatively and substantively educate you in your respective field of study through undergraduate research, through service in that, but you're also going to do. And we're going to teach you how to do in a way that is very other-centered. It's an extension of the service. And we oftentimes hear from employers that they absolutely love hiring Notre Dame grads because they come into their place of employment, their for-profit or nonprofit organization, and they've been in an environment that is highly educated. It's collaborative, though. It's not cutthroat competitive, right? Cutthroat competitive. There is an other-centeredness. There's a collaborative nature, extraordinary high integrity of our students. And it, I think, is formed by that investment in the full human person. To be a thinker and a doer, to go out and do good for this world. The Morello Center, though, as you mentioned, for academic or for career development, they absolutely will help place our students. And we have, amongst our peers, the highest four-year graduation rate and ultimately placement. So typically between 96 and 99% placement after graduation. And again, that unlocks and unleashes, in the most beautiful way of the word, the Notre Dame network with over 150,000 alumni, and you have clubs in every pocket of this world with alumni, parents, and friends wanting to help advance the careers and ultimately the leadership of Notre Dame alumni.
That's great. So I have time for one final question to ask of the three of you. And it is an important question that's on the minds of our audience. So why Notre Dame? Like, why did you pick it for yourself? You'll all have different perspectives to provide, but why is this place a place that the class of 2028 should seriously consider? And let's start with you, Alfredo. Yeah, I'm looking right at you, right? It's like,
I was like, I guess I'll start.
Yes, you will indeed.
So I know just about everyone on my floor in my dorm, and I'm considered lacking because I don't know everyone at my dorm. And my dorm has like 220 people in it. I went for a quick dinner tonight. I just wanted to do 15 minutes in and out. I ended up bumping into like 8 people I knew. They all wanted to stop, have a conversation. So I obviously, of course, I wanted to talk to them. And I think that's kind of like the perfect encapsulation of why Notre Dame, just because of the community we have built here and kind of just how everyone looks out for each other and how everyone really loves and cares for each other.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And how about you, Shamar?
Yeah, so kind of piggybacking off of that community idea, I'll just tell my own story and keep it as brief as I can. But when I was in all of your shoes way back in 2017, figuring out what I wanted to do for college, number one on my priority list was finding a place that felt like a home. So I did a tour of a bunch of different schools, really didn't find a place that felt like a home to me. So I told one of my mentors, I don't even know if I'm going to go to college. I don't know. I couldn't find a place for me. She said, have you ever looked at Notre Dame? I said, I don't even know where Notre Dame is. So no. And fortunately enough, she took me out for a visit, never did an official info session or tour, never did a rally or any type of campus tour, anything like that. Didn't really know anything about this place. We just came to Notre Dame to see the vibes and see what this place was about. And we walked around and I immediately fell in love with this place because of the people here. Like, I couldn't tell you how many current students stopped me as I was walking around. probably because I looked like a lost high schooler walking around campus, because that's what I was. And they'd ask me like, hey, what are you up to? Where are you headed? And I'd say, I'm a prospective student, just seeing what Notre Dame is about. And they say, oh, have you been here yet? Or have you seen this place? And they wouldn't just point me in the direction, but they would walk me to the grotto or walk me to their favorite place to go fishing around the lakes. And I have never been fishing in my life. I could care less about fishing, but to have people that will stop this random high schooler who they probably will never see again a day in their life and walk me 5 minutes out of the way, just to make sure that I was having a good time. Like, I knew that this was a place where people genuinely cared about one another and just wanted to better everyone's lives. And I knew that this was a place that felt like a home.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Well, mine is similar, Deb, and I would sum it up in one word, which is mission. And I think we are so blessed. This mission that for 180 plus years has existed and been the same, to invest in the minds of our young people, but never at the expense of the heart. And you spoke so eloquently about that. A lot of places will invest in your mind in a beautifully invigorating, challenging way. But this place does that and more. And I have seen that manifest itself in the people and the community who flock here together to serve and be a family truly for life. In the highest moments of my life, Notre Dame has walked those journeys and celebrated with me, and truly in the most challenging, Notre Dame has been right beside me, walking every step of the way. And I believe that happens because of mission and people coming together around that shared mission. So I'm so deeply grateful to be a part of this family. I am humbled every day. I like to say nothing keeps me up at night, but a million things get me up in the morning because of this place and the opportunities and the people that surround this family around that shared mission. So thank you, all of you, for joining us. We hope that that shared mission inspires you to join our family. And we'll conclude tonight with one other invitation. We hope that all of you have received your invitations to the rally, which is our admitted student days here at Notre Dame. There will be one held in March and another in April. And I truly believe, just as Shamar just spoke about, once you step foot on this campus, you fall in love. And so we genuinely hope all of you will join us for the rally and fall in love with Our Ladies University.
These have been such wonderful questions, and thank you so much for sharing your Notre Dame experience with our audience. Please know that this is only one of many, many opportunities for you to engage with our team and the broader Notre Dame community. We're looking forward to seeing many of you at the rally, as Micki mentions this spring. Please, please, please sign up. And of course, please follow us on social media. We're very active on social media. And all have a wonderful evening, and go Irish.
All right.